Hello everybody, my name is Blue and today we are doing another episode of the Tiny Island Resort. Today is the last episode where we are adding an animal from the Oceania animal pack. It won't be the last episode overall since we will be, filling up all the other islands that we still have planned for other animals from other packs or base game or whatever. But this episode we will be doing a fan favourite, the Quokka. And well, yeah, as I said, it's a fan favourite, not even in the game, but just a fan favourite in general. People really love the Quokka. It's an internet sensation. And it has been an internet sensation because of its famous smile. The Quokka is known as a very happy animal and is found on, well, the west of Australia and some islands. But the most famous place is Rottnest Island, which is the island that we are building today. And, well, Rottnest Island may not have a very appetizing name, like Rottnest. That doesn't sound very appealing. But the actual reason is back when European settlers discovered the island, it was actually discovered by a Dutchman, Willem de Vlaming, and he actually called it Rottnest, which is Dutch for the rat's nest. And the rats actually refer to the Quokkas on the island because he thought they were rats, or at least something similar to a rat, obviously from the explorer's mind. So yeah, the name of the island is actually named after the animals that were found on the island, which are these Quokkas that we are building an enclosure for. So yeah, obviously they are not rats, they are marsupials, they are Quokkas, and they're actually closely related to wallabies. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, wallabies and kangaroos and stuff, because you can kind of see the resemblance, right? But yeah, so Quokkas are, they're, as I said, they're an internet sensation, and that's because of the Rottnest Island. A lot of tourists go there, and because the Quokkas are relatively tame, they're not afraid of tourists. Tourists have been taking pictures with them, and you have those famous Quokka selfies online, and also because of their smile, because they're always seen as like the happiest animal. So, but I'm sure you've heard of that. If you use the internet, I'm sure you've heard of this Quokka sensation. But actually, despite them looking very friendly, and they're generally quite friendly, they have been recorded to bite some tourists, and that's why tourists have actually been banned of actually touching or interacting with the Quokka in any way. So you actually get a fine. You get like a $300 fine, I think, for touching a Quokka. So yeah, definitely don't touch them. You can visit them. You can make selfies of them, I guess, but do not touch the Quokkas because they can bite. And it hurts, apparently. They have sharp teeth. But yeah, Quokkas, they are herbivores, so they won't try to eat you. They eat grass and stuff, so unless you look like grass, I think you will be safe. But yeah, they are definitely feisty herbivore, feisty little marsupial. And they are little indeed. They are, as I said, they are from the same family as kangaroos and wallabies, but they're a really small macropod is actually the correct name. So yeah, if you don't know what marsupials are, I'm sure I've explained about marsupials in a couple of the previous episodes of the Tasmanian Devil. But a marsupial is essentially a mammal with a pouch, and I have explained about the three main types of like the three taxon of mammal basically that exists, which are placentals, marsupials, and then finally the smallest being the monotremes. If you want to have more information about the those taxons, you can go to the Tasmanian Devil video, since I've done a little explanation. But I do want to address the marsupials a bit more, since this is another marsupial build. And basically, marsupials, they're not specifically more primitive. They're just objectively less well adapted to surviving than the placentals. Which, just to clarify, we are placentals, and most mammals are placentals. Basically means they have a placenta, or at least the females do. But yeah, the placentals have generally just a better survival rate when it comes to, I think it comes to bearing offsprings and stuff like that. But they generally have a better survival rate. So in most places on Earth, there are no marsupials because the placentals basically outlive them. That's a simple. That's just how natural selection works, right? But the reason there are still marsupials, especially in Australia, in some other isolated islands in Oceania, and also even a couple of species in the Americas. But the reason they are isolated is, well, no, actually, sorry. The reason they do exist is because they are isolated, and more specifically because Australia, the continent, and those islands split off basically the rest of the world before placentals came to exist. So basically, the continent split off, and then placentals started evolving and basically taking over. So really, they just got lucky. And now that humans are there are placentals living on Australia and other islands, which is actually very devastating for the marsupial populations, since, as I said, they mostly do outlive and outcompete these placental animals. So it really... so not placental animals, these marsupial animals, sorry. And because of that, these placentals are kind of eradicating a lot of these marsupial species. Because, for example, I'm sure you've maybe heard of this, but a very popular case is the famous, the invasive rabbits in Australia. They even built these mile-long fences to keep rabbits out. Basically, since rabbits are just a more successful wombat, essentially, they're just better at living. Not just wombats, but that was just an example. But yeah, rabbits are, as I said, a placental, and they outcompete a lot of different marsupials. Not only rabbits, also a lot of predators like cats, house cats, are causing for a lot of population decline in different marsupial species. And the quokka is definitely not an exception. The quokka only has a small range in the southwest, kind of, southwest of Australia. But it's not only the quokka, it's a lot of different species that have been vulnerable and even are going extinct or have gone extinct, like the Tasmanian tiger or Tasmanian wolf, or the thylacine, or however you want to call it. It has a lot of different names. But yeah, the thylacine is an example of a marsupial that went extinct because of, humans really, and just how it outcompeted by placentals. I mean, humans are placentals, so technically they are being outcompeted by placentals nonetheless. But this is why it's really important to educate yourselves on these kind of stuff and help out the marsupial wildlife, since that it's a very unique group of mammals. This taxon of mammals is nowhere else in the world, except for, as I said, you have possums in the Americas, but that's the only exception. All other marsupials only live in Australia and surrounding islands, so definitely a precious gem to protect. I haven't really talked about the actual island that I'm building right here. This is Rottnest Island. I have talked about Rottnest Island, and I just want to say a couple more things about Rottnest Island, and that is, I talked about the history and how it was discovered, but the history isn't always that positive, and the negative things have to be said as well. And Rottnest Island used to be a large prison for many Aboriginals back when it was colonized, and I mean it's technically still colonized because it's ruled by the English. Well, not ruled by the English, but Europeans live there now. But yeah, it was a prison for Aboriginals, which is atrocious, and let's just be glad it's no longer being a prison for these native Australian people, since it is just inhumane, really. But negative things aside, Rottnest Island has a couple of remarkable, maybe not remarkable, but recognisable landmarks for people who know Rottnest, which is basically 2 lighthouses. That's it. There's not much to the island besides these 2 I mean, there are buildings there, but no buildings that stand out, right? So and I'm basically building one of the lighthouses. The north one, I can't think of the name, something with a B, Bathurst Lighthouse? I'm probably wrong. But yeah, this is Bathurst Lighthouse, which is the North Lighthouse in Rottnest Island. But that's basically all there is to it, and then most of it is also shrubland. That's what I'm trying to create here, this Australian shrubland kind of environment. I mean, if you're in Australia, you should definitely visit it. Visit the Quokkas, take some selfies, don't touch them, and enjoy your stay, and enjoy this video, because that's all I have to say. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.